Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Light the Torch for the book release of Unleash Her. Woo-hoo. My name is Hannah Olivas, and I am joined here today with all of the authors in the book Unleash Her. It came out 2 minutes ago, an e-version, ebook. Woo-hoo. And I'm just going to say this book is incredible. If you have not ordered your pre-copy, you can actually order your ebook version today on your little Kindle or wherever you read books these days. There are a total of 30, not 30 authors. I was going to say 39. There are a total of 30 authors from the book. And it's been a pretty wild ride. So I want to say congratulations to all of them. Very excited for all these ladies. For some, it's their very first book release. So double congratulations to you for number one, you just became bestsellers literally in pre-sales. So that's pretty awesome. I know we hit 5 best-selling categories in the United States within less than 24 hours of the book going into pre-sale form. So we should have some updates. So if you haven't gotten the book, you can go to Amazon and order it for 99 cents. And or you can only go to Amazon and order it for 99 cents right now. You can also pre-order your paperback copy from your favorite author. Or you can go to Amazon, or you can go to She Rides Studios. So yeah, pretty exciting. A lot of us are still in our PJs. Um, a lot of us are having coffee. Some may be having beer. I don't know where you are in the world, but so I'm going to pass the torch. My chapter is called My Sweet Baby. Um, it's a very descriptive part of my life that I have never shared really with anybody. So I hope that for the women who experience something similar, I hope it helps you and know that there's always a rainbow. So I'm going to pass the torch to Andra. Morning,
Hi,
Andra.
everybody. My name is Andra and my chapter's name is My Mother's Daughter. It's about disease processes that I went through and got through. I couldn't wait to be a part of this book. The women here are amazing, and this is about so much more than us. This is really about helping women see their potential, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
Well, thank you for being a part of it. We're super excited. Tell us what you do.
I am a nurse and weight loss expert.
Woohoo!
I help women lose weight, keep it off, and step into a body they love.
Love it. Thank you, Andra. All
Thank
right.
you.
So let's pass the torch to Elisa.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Maybe it's the Celsius that's kicking in. I don't know. um, my name is Elisa, and I'm a relationship and connectivity coach. And I help women heal and reconnect with themselves so they can break free from the cycle of suffering they're stuck in. And that's kind of where I got like where I was. And that's why I wrote this chapter, which my chapter is called My Wounds, Scars Don't Define Me Anymore. And it's funny because my whole life I thought I was a victim. I was raised by a victim because she was physically and verbally abused her whole life. So I was raised to be a victim. I thought I was always going to be that, especially coming from another country. I was, I thought, I'm an illegal immigrant. I can have the same opportunities that everyone has. And then I also suffer from depression. So I always thought I was less than. and I was stuck in the drama triangle. I was always a victim, and I was stuck in that role. And this chapter is all about getting out of that role and becoming the creator of your life, and what I had to do to become that creator and to unleash who I really am and be able to heal all those parts of myself from my childhood and be able to really step into who I really am, my true personality, which is being here writing books and doing all these amazing things that I've never thought I would be able to do. So I am so excited for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Elisa. I actually read your chapter. Well, I read all of them. But it is definitely an incredible chapter, and you're definitely someone who inspires me. It's hard when you have to really dig deep and share, you're digging to the root of what it takes to be able to unleash your power. So thank you for being so transparent. So let's pass that torch to CJ.
Good morning, everybody. I just am super excited. This is my first book, so being part of this whole experience has just been amazing. And I've been awake since 4 o'clock going, okay, don't sleep through your alarm. You have to be there. I am a mentor of women, teaching them how to step into their own power, monetize their brand, leverage a high ticket offer. And basically what I teach them to do is step into the knowledge that every single thing that they need to be successful in life is within them. They don't need to wait for somebody else to give them permission. They don't need to wait for somebody else to show them the way. They just need to choose that for themselves. And my chapter is pull the damn ripcord. Nobody else is coming to save you. And it's just a lifelong experience of learning that I could trust myself and rely on myself. I didn't have to wait for somebody else to come do it for me. So I'm just super excited to read everybody's chapters and just be part of this.
Well, thank you. I know you said this was your first book, right?
Yes.
I remember you messaging or saying something about this being your first book. So as this being your very first book, what would you say the hardest part of writing this book was?
Just even though I'm a mentorship coach of women, just like telling myself, you're just as good as every other author in here. Your story is just as important. You just write it. Don't question yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Just step up and do it. And just don't, try to talk yourself out of it or second guess the power that's there and how the words are going to come out. So I think just giving yourself permission, or giving myself permission, that was the hardest thing to say. Okay, you got this. You're capable. Let's do it.
Right. Wow. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So let's pass that torch over to Nicole.
Good morning, everybody. How are you? Happy Launch Tuesday. I'm so excited to be here with all you beautiful ladies. So I am Nicole Curtis. I'm part of the leadership team at She Rises Studios. I'm also an advocate for mental health for moms that have kids that are struggling in their own mental health. I also am an advocate for child sexual abuse survivors, of women who are looking to heal in that. And I'm also a leadership mentor for women in corporate as well as in business. And my chapter in the book is called Slay Your Demons, because I was a huge people pleaser and I struggled with finding my worth because I always felt I had it through other people. And so I really was lost. I was broken. I was struggling. I had a lot of anger, and a lot of how I showed up and who I was because I asked permission from everybody else of how I needed to be, instead of giving myself the permission and stepping into my power and then learning how to unleash it. And so all of those goodies are inside of my chapter of how I help women not just find their power, but show up in their power and continue to do it every day. And I'm so, so excited to be here. All of you women on this panel right now are incredible and remarkable women. And this book release, this book holds a dear spot in my heart. And I'm just really, really excited that we get to help serve women around the world in not just finding their power, but unleashing it. So you ladies are awesome. And
thank you, Nicole, for sharing. So for those of you who have already said a little bit about you, if you can actually back completely out of the studio, we're trying to get all of the authors in. You can fully leave and come back in. So let's pass the torch next to Rebecca Chandler.
Good morning. My name is Rebecca Chandler. I own Holistic Finance and Holistic Arizona Healing Ranch in Tucson, Arizona. My chapter is called Agent to Act, Not Object to React. We've all got power, not power over, but power to lift, power to nurture, power to heal and comfort, and people need us. I write about unleashing our power by knowing who we are and by making choices to act proactively instead of falling back into reactive passivity. I used to live in the realm of who me and why me, and the feelings of I'm not big enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not powerful enough, or even I'm too broken. And now I'm learning to rise out of those limiting ideas and stories, letting much more beautiful things develop and grow in my heart and in my world. My family's even feeling this too, as we're all coming along on this journey of learning to own and unleash our power, and becoming sources of light and comfort to others who are hurting now. I'm so very grateful to be part of the She Rises Studios, and this is my second book now with She Rises, and I love the stories, and I love sharing with the women, and I hope for all the readers of this great book that they feel empowered and lifted to do something maybe a little uncomfortable, maybe a little different, but to do something that lets them break out of their old patterns and come into their more beautiful, true selves and do the work they came here to do.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. So for those of you who are on screen right now, how many of you actually included your family in the process of writing this book?
My daughter would say that my chapter takes 2 hours to listen to.
How many of you wrote it, physically wrote it? I love it. That's so awesome. I'm glad I'm not the only old school. My husband's like, you can talk it, you can type it. And I'm like, it's not the same thing. I can't say how many times I ripped off the page and started over again. Well, thank you for sharing. So let's pass that torch to Yana.
Well, good morning or good afternoon, because where I am, it's actually past 1 p.m. at the moment. And congratulations, ladies. We did it. All of us. We've managed to come all the way to the final line, and the book is now a reality, which, am I excited? It's an understatement. Am I nervous? Absolutely. But to be honest, I'm more curious to find out how many women out there actually are going to be impacted by that book, and how many women are going to really action their life and their decisions after reading that book. And, how many women will keep passing on the knowledge of that book. So we can expand and reach and create that awareness across everywhere. And I am beyond excited and nervous at the moment. But a little bit about me. I live in the beautiful Scotland, very cold at the moment. Yay. And I'm a psychologist and people and talent specialist, and a believer and a fighter for the good in the world and good in humans. And I believe we are good by nature. And then as soon as we manage to calm ourselves down and dig deeper inside rather than outside, we get to exactly what we need and where we need to be. And my chapter is called Your Wish is My Command. And it's kind of a It provokes the imagination because the wish could be a good one, could be a bad one, could be unhealthy, could be healthy. So it's really up to you what your wish is going to be. But whatever it is, it will be. So choose carefully and wisely, and make sure you choose for yourself, and you don't please anyone, and you don't meet expectations for everyone else but yourself, and live that life. Make it pleasant. We all want that. And the only way you can know you have a pleasant life is by wanting more of the same. So upwards, and the sky is the limit.
I love that. Can you tell us something really exciting that you're doing with this book? Sorry, I'm not ignoring anybody. My grandson decided to join us. He's up at 5:00.
He's an early bird.
He is today. It's what do you have going on in terms of the book? You have something that you and I believe it's Julianne have been working on and setting up. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not a secret that Hannah and Shirazi Studios have been doing unbelievable things across the States. And I was a little bit jealous, and I was like, okay, I need some more noise here in the UK. So we have organized a book launch here in Scotland, in Edinburgh, in a beautiful spiritual center called Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It's more than 200 years old. So it's really is keeping that fire and that light. And Julian Williams is traveling all the way from California to join me. We're going to have a few other guest authors from future books, no spoiler alerts. And we're going to have other guests coming in, family and friends, celebrate, ask questions, dig deeper, drink and eat and enjoy life, basically. So stay tuned. We're going to be able to broadcast live on the 5th of November at 2 p.m. UK time.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations to you and Julianne and to everyone who's involved. I'm really excited to see and hear more. And thank you for being with us today. So I'm going to pass the torch over to Bella Bliss.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I am Bella. My company is called Your Soul Passion, and I am super stoked to be here. I was up at 4:00 in the morning, and actually pretty much the whole week I've been up like 2, 3, 4, and I couldn't figure out why. So now I know why. But anyhow, I am super excited to be here. I was originally going to be in a different book, and that never came to fruition. And I came to a point in my life where I said, I really need to design my own life in the way that I want it. So I declared that I was going to help women through my books. I was going to go on book tours, I'm going to travel, I'm going to have fun with my coaching business. So I'm a transformational and empowerment life coach. And I said, I really want to have wellness retreats for women. And then as soon as I declared that to the universe, guess what came in my inbox? The invitation to write this book, and it was so perfect for me. And I couldn't imagine it any other way. I'm getting emotional now because I have all the support with She Rises Studios. I have all the support and also your stories with all of our amazing, I call you guys beautiful bosses or women, beautiful bosses, just because we've gone through so much in life. And that's what I'm really all about, is to get to know yourself really well, trust your intuition. And even though we're out of a physical situation, it still remains in here, and it still remains in here. There's a lot of healing and growth and letting go and so much more that goes on with our process. And these women have done it, and you all can do it. And I've done it, so I know that if we've all done it, that you could do it too. One of the things I wanted to do for the book is to make it like a survival manual. And the book chapter name is Be Seen, Be Heard, Be Limitless. I do believe that joy is our birthright. And I survived a 20-year marriage to a narcissist where I had emotional, physical, mental, spiritual abuse. And I know that if I could do it, then all of you can too. So I'm just so blessed, and I'm so grateful. I lived through my life through gratefulness. That's why I'm here today. And my mission is to help divorced women, no children, look at all of the options that we have in our next chapter. And don't let fear and perfectionism hold you back, but rise above. And so that's what I loved about this whole movement that we have is She Rises. So anyhow, I'm so proud and excited and privileged and honored to be here with all of you and in this book, Unleash Her. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bella. It's great to have you. So let's pass that torch to Vonnie Leach.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Siobhan Leach. I go by Vonnie Leach, and I am the owner of Forever Open Journal and Notebook Collection. I'm also a program manager in a civic engagement organization and a leadership development consultant. And oh my goodness, it is super early. I have never been on a call this early. I'm actually in my car right now. My son tracked back in. And I'm super excited about Unleash Her, and everyone that's has pre-ordered, is gonna order, all the impact that Unleash Her is going to make. We have a bunch of great women who took the time to pour their hearts out into such a powerful and motivating and inspirational book. And the name of my chapter is Open To. And when writing, I really wasn't sure what to put in the book because I never written this kind of book before, or had any or written anything that really focused on myself. And so with writing Open To, I wanted to figure out a way to, I guess, really explain my process of growth, the last few years of growth, and what that looked like in different aspects of my life and how it got me to where I am now. So Open To looks at a few critical points, in my opinion, that helped me to really become the person that I am today. And I feel like it's going to continue to help me, uh, grow and move throughout my life and really impact the women that I'm meant to impact. And so Open To focuses on being open to healing and growth, being open to ourselves, and being open to impact. And I feel like each one is connected to the one before it. Not to say that you don't have to be open to anything else, just in my opinion, those 4 points are very critical to how we grow and really move throughout life in our purpose journey. And so I'm super excited for everyone to dive into everyone's chapter, all of our chapters, and really take whatever tools they need to to grow and to really step into their greatest potential.
Well, thank you for sharing. And you also have another project coming out, or something else is coming out, I believe, this month too.
I do. My my book that I have, it is called Love, Chance, Freedom.
My gosh.
So it is a sci-fi book, because I'm creative in the mythical world and made up creatures, and so it's a fiction book, sci-fi book. It has micro letters in it, and then also poetry, all written from the aspect of the characters. And it's called Love, Chance, Freedom, because each section of the book deals with love, chance, or freedom. And of course, everything is based off how I see life, how I see second chances, and the world of social justice, because that's the world that I've been in for so long.
Well, thank you for sharing, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's pass that torch to Joyce.
Good morning. My name is Joyce Hindle. I am owner of Joyce Hindle Coaching. I'm a relationship coach. So a couple of years ago, I transitioned from all the careers that I had tried, and I knew in my heart that I had always wanted to be a life coach, a relationship coach. My chapter is Make Your Relationships a Teeter-Totter. I spent years of my life living in trauma and healing from trauma, therapy, coaching. I tried everything. And I'm just here to tell women who have the same background, like Bella and others who shared. I lived with a narcissist, actually a borderline personality, for 17 years. And I didn't know what was going on. I was trying. I literally threw everything at it that I knew to do. There was emotional abuse, mental abuse, financial abuse, religious abuse, physical abuse, all kinds of abuses. I have 3 wonderful children from it, but divorcing someone like that carries just different problems. So you give up one set of problems for another set of problems when you do that. But I'm also here just in my chapter to tell women that you don't have to suffer, you can thrive. And you may not know the whole picture, but you can see the next step. And so in my chapter, I share parts of my story. And the premise behind it is just that every relationship that we have is like a teeter-totter. And all of my relationships, I realized at one point, I was running toward those relationships for what I was looking for, the love, the connection, or whatever. And I was moving so far up on the teeter-totter that it left everyone else in my life doing nothing for the relationship. And so I found all my relationships were like this, where I'm running circles around people, but I'm the only one giving. It's not a game. It's not back and forth. And so I realized when I started moving back on that teeter-totter, the game could actually work and I could get some of the things that I wanted. Now, it did mean that a few people left, or I chose to not have them in my life anymore. But now I can tell you my heart is full with love and connection, attention. I can ask for what I need and people are responsive, the people that I choose to have in my life. And I just want women to know that you can do this too. And your relationships can be everything that you want. When you change it up with your own love and joy, you can thrive as well in your relationships, no matter how difficult they are, one step at a time.
Well, thank you for sharing. I am sure many of the future readers are going to get something from what you just spoke about. I would say that this book is definitely, he's at work. Grandma's busy. Go do what you got to do. I would say, women who pick this book up are going to, someone out there will identify with each one of these chapters in a different way. And I always say, you know, I don't like to use the word survive. I feel like when we're going through a process of whether it's overcoming a very traumatic experience or whatever it is, you're not surviving. You're not coming out the other side a survivor. You're actually coming out a warrior. So when I'm looking at my screen, I'm seeing all these different women warriors who are now able to say, hey, there is, you know, light at the end of the tunnel, or there is a rainbow after the rain, or however we want to say it, but it's a real thing. So I feel like this book unleashes hope. So thank you for sharing yours, Joyce. And I'm really glad that you're a part of this book.
Thank you.
Said, we're going to move over to Megan. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning. Hello. Thanks for having me. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this. I'm coming from Omaha, Nebraska. That's where I'm at. And I'm an intuition coach. So I own Megan Nicole Coaching. I help women connect to their own inner knowing and step into their soul's calling confidently. My chapter is called Believe in You. So it's all about that. It's really about me stepping into my inner knowing. I went through several traumatic experiences and in the same time when I was in college, and that just shook me awake and went through a deep spiritual awakening from that. And it helped me to connect to my own intuition, and being somebody that grew up didn't trust myself at all. I really started to learn how to trust myself and believe in myself. And so the motto of my business is Believe in You, and it has been for years. And so that's the name of my chapter. And I'm so excited for people to read it, and hopefully it touches somebody. And I'm just so happy to be here and be a part of this.
Well, thank you for being with us. Is this your first book?
Yes, this is my first book.
So describe that feeling.
Oh my gosh, it feels amazing. It's like a childhood dream come true, and definitely happy tears. Also scary at the same time. It's kind of interesting, all of the different feelings coming up. It's like, oh my gosh, my story, my life story is going to be out there in the world. So it's a lot of feelings, but super proud and excited and grateful. Those are the biggest ones.
Well, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for joining your Light the Torch. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So let's pass the torch to Tara.
Hello, everyone. I am Tara Hirschberg. This is my first book as well. It's pretty scary. It's like I literally put my heart and soul and my personal life into my chapter. It is my faith-based journey. It's called From Divorce to Dreaming. I learned through a process of baptism that God takes away a lot of things in your life, and you have to go through a refining process to be able to put it back together the best way possible. So that is my personal journey. I am now remarried. I have 7 passive income streams, and we're currently living in this RV, traveling all over the country with my new husband. We've been on the road for like 157 days right now. So you do have to go through some refining and letting go in order to get the life that God actually has intended for you.
I didn't realize I was muted.
Okay, I thought I didn't hear something.
I'm muting because of all days, I'm on grandma duty, and of all days, he decided to wake up before the rooster. Where are you traveling to next?
Right now, we're actually in Michigan, visiting my family. We live in Florida, so it's getting cold up here. So we're heading back down the coast towards the warmer weather. We like to say we chase the 70s, the 70 degrees, and we don't live in the cold.
I love that. Well, congratulations to you, and thank you for being a part of the journey. Make sure, those of you who are watching and sharing this Light the Torch, that you get this book so that you can get to know these women even better. And thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
So let's pass it to Michelle.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me okay?
Mm-hmm. We can
Okay,
hear you.
great. Good. um, my business is called Laughter Hills Network, and I help women entrepreneurs um, by um,
Hi.
I'm sorry. It's so early. My brain is not even functioning yet. Um, I was so tired. I mean, I was so excited about this that I couldn't even go to sleep last night. And then I think I fell asleep probably 5:30. Uh, and I'm in Central Time, by the way. um, so um, I have a network for female entrepreneurs, and we offer different services and everything for them. Um, I am a transformational productivity coach, and I do help the 9 to 5 transition to the entrepreneurship. And this book, I cannot even tell you what it means to me. I'm gonna start crying if I talk about it. But I was a nurse for 20. Actually, I am a nurse. You don't ever get out of that. But I was working as a nurse for 20 years, and that actually was what defined me. And basically, I was 6th on the priority list, and always put others in front of me. But I had a car accident, and basically, the car accident made me focus on myself. And this book, I unleashed the nurse, and the about putting myself as last priority, and created Michelle so that I could help others. So that's I really appreciate the opportunity to be part of it, and being here with you guys and everything. So
Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing.
thank you. I do appreciate it. Tears and all.
Let's pass this torch to Angela.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Angela, and I am the founder of Serenity and Salud, and I am a spiritual yoga coach and a transformative travel designer. I teach women to reclaim their wellness and create calm, reset their nervous system, and create new experiences using travel to heal. And I help women heal, women who have experienced cancer or another chronic illness diagnosis, because sometimes I don't like this word, but sometimes as a survivor, as somebody who's gone through a chronic illness, when you sit across a therapist in a therapist office, sometimes they can't even understand you. So I just really want to help hold women's hand and help guide them through. I'm not a therapist, but I want to just help guide them through some spiritual practices, some breath work, help them reset their nervous system, help them find affordable ways so that they can travel and really start getting new experiences under their belt so that they can start living their life. The name of my chapter is Blooming Like a Lotus Flower from the Mud, because I believe lotus flowers are one of the most beautiful expressions. They root down in the mud and they rise up, and they're just so beautiful. And it's really exciting to be a part of a book where women have just overcome so many challenges, and they're all unique and they're all important, and they're all going to resonate with another woman out there in this world. And this is my first experience with writing a book, and as long as I can maybe touch the lives of one woman, been worth it for me. And I'm so grateful to She Rises Studios and for Hannah stepping into her gifts and really blessing all of us with this platform to be able to do this. So thank you.
Thank you. You know, it's so funny. So a lot of people, I don't think anybody knows how you and I met. And we have the same diagnosis. And I was introduced to Angela from my cousin. And so Angela literally saved my life, because when no doctors here knew what was going on, or when they had even an inkling of what was happening, she was like, you need to go to the Mayo Clinic. You need to talk to this doctor. And had I not done that, we wouldn't have actually known what was going on. And then one day we kept in touch this whole time. Like, you've supported and encouraged me, even on my hardest of days. Like, I would call her and say, hey, what is this? Or how does that, what does this mean? And she always just had this amazing gift of inspiring me to keep going. But I'm in our own author Facebook group, and I see her name in the group pop up, and I'm like, wait, so I'm going to my friends list, making sure, is this the same Angela? I had no idea she was going to be in the book. And I'm like, wait, and everybody's calling you by a different last name, right? And I know you as one last name. So I'm like, is that the same one? And I clicked the profile. I'm like, that's the same one. So I side message you. I'm like, wait, are you in this book? So talk about alignment and the crazy backstory of it. You literally did save my life. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to fully express the gratitude. But when I saw you in the book, I was like, oh my gosh, I cried. I even messaged my daughter. I'm like, who did this? Who's the one who brought you in? Like, do people know her story? Do they understand who she is and what she does? You are very modest right now. Enjoy it, introducing your story. So definitely, I'm really glad you're here. It kind of made me feel like I'm not alone. You made me cry. So thank you for being a part of this. And I'm so glad that you are here. You look amazing. And I know that what you're going through.
Yeah. I always say there's no ugly myeloma patient.
Yeah. That's the thing. Everybody says, oh, you look so good. And I'm like, not if you could see the insides. I don't know. I'm glad our insides don't match the outside.
Yeah.
But thank you for being here. And thank you for being a part of this, journey. And thank you for saving me. That was definitely a God wink. So with that said, let's pass the torch over to Julie.
So sorry, I was on mute. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm so excited to be a part of this project. I was a part of Unstoppable Women in Finance, and I decided to just go big or go home this year and do another book on top of that with you guys. And what an amazing experience. My chapter is called Behind the Smile. And, growing up, I just never really felt good enough. In our culture, you had to be a certain way, act a certain way, portray a certain way. And you could never be your authentic self. And I struggled with anxiety. I struggled with depression. I had no idea that's what it was when I was growing up. I just thought maybe I was extra sensitive or something. And I finally discovered that. And it's weird. It's just my whole life I've been people pleasing and trying to be what everyone else wants me to be instead of what I want to be. And this year at 40 years old, I decided I was going to go after it all and just be my authentic me. And that has been so exciting. Just breaking cultural boundaries and stigmas and just really excited. So I'm so just honored to be a part on this platform with so many of you lovely ladies to share my story. It's something I've always wanted to do, but never thought I would and didn't think I was good enough. Nobody would listen. And
so appreciative of all of what you've done, Hannah, and your team, and Heather for bringing me into this platform and this book. My husband and I, we spend our time helping people go through their finances. And we're just a dynamic husband and wife team that really understands what people go through and how to strategize the best outcome possible for each person. And I use my story to help do that. So really excited, pleasure to be on here with all of you. And I look forward to working with you all in the future.
So Julie, is this this is your second book, right?
Yeah, so I was asked to do the Unstoppable Women in Finance. And I was like, I don't know, because I did a podcast and then I was asked to do that. And I was like, okay, I'll do it, but I don't know who's going to read it. It's not really that great. I do a couple of videos for our business as it is. But everybody tells me that I have an interesting story and it's my why. And then this one, I decided to write really for my daughter because I thought she was the perfect, she is the perfect, but on the outside, you can never tell that anything's bothering her. But it wasn't until I realized that she was struggling with anxiety and having panic attacks that I realized how similar we were. And I wasn't able to connect that. So I've been able to identify a lot in what I went through in her. And I've been able to, I think, cope and handle her better than my parents were able to, and you don't talk about this stuff. You don't talk about anxiety. You don't talk about depression. You don't talk about any of this. It's a secret. So.
Yeah, I would agree. It's kind of like if you say you suffer from any of those, people look at you different. There's a stigma, or you get told it's in your head, or, it makes you weak. It's one of those things that, unless someone is actually going through it, they don't really understand. But depression, anxiety, and panic attacks are a very big part of today's society. And I'm hoping with this book and like what you just shared, that it's gonna help women overall, because we suffer from it the most, women do. And that's just a statistic. It's something that I hope we can change
And we hide it. We hide it really well. On the outside, people are like, wow, they wouldn't know that because I hide it behind the smile. But you have no idea what my insides look like, what turmoil I'm going through. So, and so I really want to bring a lot of attention and light to that, because somebody said to me, they said, Julie, if you were diabetic or you had any other issue, would you take medication? And I said, yeah, of course. They're like, well, it's the same thing. Why wouldn't you want to be on something to make you better? And so that was a full circle moment for me. But a lot of people that don't know, when you have anxiety and you have depression, you're very tired all the time because your body and your brain and your heart are fighting so much even before you get out of bed that it exhausts you. So, but
I can truly identify with that. And thank you for being so transparent, because that's very hard. A lot of us don't want to admit some of those things that are going on. It's definitely tough. So thank you very, very much for sharing that and for being a part of this book. Let's pass the torch to Miss Dixon.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is early, but as an elementary principal, I love this time of the day. It's when I get my most work done. But I took the day off so I could be here with y'all today and celebrate this great opportunity. I'm Sherry Dixon, and like I said, I've been in public education forever. Just kind of getting into my 28th year. And as I've been working with teachers and coaching and with kids, I really felt like it was time to make a pivot, or another pivot, I should say, in my life. And I am starting a coaching and consulting business called A Girl and Her Dog. There's, of course, a story behind that. But after going through a very messy divorce and learning how to live by myself, the dog kind of saved me. So he's a pretty important part in my life. I, just like many of you, we go through so many things as women where we have to jump these hurdles or go over the speed bumps or pivot in our lives. And, I noticed a lot of people that were in my circle, when they have to do those things, they just kind of give up and they just accept that whatever life has thrown at them, that is how they're supposed to live. And way back when I was still a teenager, transitioning from high school just into college, my life changed quite a bit. And I got the greatest job of my entire world, and that's the job of being a mom and looking at my baby girl, who is the light of my life, for the first time. And just looking in her eyes, I knew that she needed a strong woman in her life. And I knew that she needed a great role model to be able to help her understand that just because life happens, we don't have to just accept that. We can still fulfill all of our goals and all of our dreams and be the person we want to be, and still have everything else as well. Still be the greatest mom, and still be the great wife or sister or daughter, or whatever roles you play. And so I wrote my chapter, and this is also my first book, and very surreal. Sometimes I'll tell people I have no words. But my chapter is titled Not Crazy, Just Wanting It All. And I really do talk about just the ways that even though this stuff happens to us, we can keep going. And in my coaching and consulting, that's exactly what I do. I work with middle-aged women who find that they have now just accepted life. They've raised their children, or they've hit the ceiling in their career, and now who are they? Because they're known for being so-and-so's mom or the principal at the school, and gone through these transformations to where they've lost who they are. And so I am very excited for my chapter to be out there in the world. I have people that are excited about this book. I know it's going to have such an impact on women. I just can't wait for it to get into the hands of so many fabulous women, and being on this journey together in this group has just taught me so many things. I'm 51, and of course, as an educator, you're never too old to learn something. And I am learning every single day. So I am just so excited to be part of this today. And thank you, everyone, and just to be in this caliber of amazing women.
Number one, thank you for being a principal. When I learned that that's what you did, I thought, wow, you must have the patience of a true saint, to be able to go into a school every day. And I don't mean with the kids, because kids to me bring the biggest joy in life. I mean the parents, having to deal with the different types of parents and just all the different fundamentals. I feel like you can write a book about being a principal, but you're unleashing a power every single day in the education system. So I don't know if you've ever thought about it that way, but it's such your gift. You're giving so many gifts all the time on a daily basis, and the type of strength that it requires and that type of power, you own that. So I say you're, badass. And I wish you were a principal here somewhere in Vegas, because we need more like you here. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. And I'll just say, I tell people every day, it's the hardest job you'll ever love, because you have such an impact on so many. And I do work with challenging schools and help them improve. And, so I have stories that could, just knock people over sometimes. And that book about education is coming. I have some ideas. So that is going to be coming soon. But, I just say kudos to all the teachers out there, because I can't do it without my staff, and they are the real superheroes because they're right there, in the trenches. But yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. All right, let's pass that torch to Christine.
Hello, everybody. What I'm super excited about for those of you who are watching and thinking about this book is just the authentic, true life stories that everyone is sharing. I mean, that's the beauty about this, is that everybody who's written a chapter has gone through something and is sharing not only their personal experience, but what came out of this and what they're gaining. What an incredible opportunity to learn through stories, which is so powerful. So thank you, Hannah, for putting all of this together so that we could find ourselves in She Rises and really being able to uplift each other through our stories. So really excited about that. My chapter is on how to recognize when your 9-year-old self is running the show. I've worked in the field of mental health for over 30 years, started off as a frontline mental health, community mental health clinician, and from there went into executive coaching and leadership development. Currently run a leadership consulting company where I work globally with leaders. And one of the things that I've recognized is that we all have crap. There's always something. And so just recognizing, hey, we're not alone. There's others that are experiencing things. And I've taken the years of my own personal experiences. I'm like kind of like I want to say my best social experiment. I'm always looking at, what did I experience? What am I learning from it? How can I share? How can I teach others? And how can I learn from others? And I've put together five limiting beliefs. We talk a lot about just get over your limiting beliefs. At times I recognize people don't even know what their limiting beliefs are. So the 5 I've come up with is, I'm not good enough. And I heard somebody talking about it a little earlier. I think it was Julia. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not deserving. I don't belong. And I don't want to be a burden. And through one of these 5, my chapter shows how you can identify which one it might be. And then what are some things that you can do to help, I want to say, unleash yourself from some of those shackles that hold us back. So super excited to be with this group of women. Thank you for this opportunity. And I'm excited for those who purchase and read the book and have the opportunity to learn from so many incredible women. So thank you. Oh, Hannah, you're on mute.
I'm muting because my grandson here just doesn't know.
Hey,
Well,
why do it?
I wanted to ask you, you talking about being in the mental health field.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think one of the main things women will get from this book? You being the expert, you writing what you've written and understanding, yay, Lovely made it. Whatever, you understanding what is really kind of, I don't want to say missing, but maybe the disconnect. How do you feel a book like this could maybe help in that area?
I think when we think about living with challenges, whatever they might be. So my experience in mental health, working with folks with anxiety and depression and bipolar disorder, adjustment disorder, all sorts of disorders, thinking about, I'm the only one, and I feel very disempowered to deal with this. I don't know what I can do. And so the book isn't about, how to help you with disorders, but how do I recognize what are some of the things that I do have power over? How do I have control? And reading stories of other people who have lifted themselves up or who have taken chances or have jumped in some way, shape, or form and came out not only okay, but are absolutely thriving on the other side, I think for many people is very inspirational, but motivational and a bit of a can do it. Like, how do you do it? We talk a lot about just do it. Well, what the hell am I supposed to do? And how do I do this? So I'm really hoping that people will be able to connect with the authors on, hey, if I have a question, can I reach out to you? How do I find out more about the work that you do so that I can find the right places? Like you were able to find somebody who was able to help you, who was experiencing something very similar. So not only here's a book of things that you can do, but here's people you can access and that there is help for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing some insight. I think it's important for women to understand how vital their mental health really is, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, all of it goes together. So thank you for being a part of the book. Thank you for sharing. I'm glad you're here. So let's move on and let's pass the torch to Denise.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Denise Oster. I'm the CEO of Dow Consulting and Coaching. I have been in the personal development and psychology world for over 30 years, but coaching for over 15. I'm also in real estate and in investment. And I'm so honored to be asked to be part of this book. The name of my chapter is Be Savage, Never Average. And it is a takeoff from my previous book that I had self-published called Inhale Abundance and Exhale Bullshit. And it just really puts together what I really hope and want for women, because I help them turn their brilliance into financial fun, freedom, and wealth. And I'm able to help them see those blind spots and overcome some of the limitations with their limiting beliefs to be able to go beyond that, because we are constantly proving ourselves that that's correct, that those limited beliefs are true. And when we go beyond that and constantly can change the language in our head that separates us from what we want, we get to a point where we're like, okay, I should do something about that, right? So I say break all the rules and be savage, never average, because we need to go all in and look at the strengths and the gifts that we do have and utilize the brilliance that we have in a way that not only can help ourselves, but help other people. So I'm really passionate and adamant about that. I've been coaching for so long that it is truly my desire, passion, legacy, whatever you want to call it, to see every single woman succeed, because we're only in competition with ourselves. And when we can get past that and change the language that we speak to each other and help one another, and you succeed, everyone else does.
So when you said you're only in competition with yourself, can you kind of explain a little bit more what you mean by that? Because one of the things that we always say is, you know, collaboration over competition. Why do women compete with one another? So when you say the only competition should be yourself, I'm curious, like, what do you mean by that?
So my belief in that is when we're only in competition with ourselves, we at night are the only ones that go to bed with our bills, our worries, our struggles, our anxiety, and anything. No one else is going to sort through and filter and push those emotions through to allow you to be savage or never average, which is the name and chapter of my book, and to be able to give us the self-love and the assurance and the recognition. We can collaborate to get the support that we need, because we as women have a tendency to beat our own selves up after nurturing and caregiving for so many other people. And then we rehearse this story in our life of how shitty life is or what has happened. And we continuously separate ourselves from our desires and our wants. And only until something happens to us do we decide to, or when we lose the hope, do we decide to do something about that, right? And then when we do, we decide, oh, maybe I'll just go do it half-ass. I'll half-ass it, right? Until we actually realize no one else are you competing against except for yourself. And when you can relinquish that resistance, your world will light on fire and amplify anything that you've tried to discombobulate, to achieve, to get your message across, or to really believe. And that's it. It's believing to the point where you have a sense of knowing that you would bet on yourself 110%. And that competition goes with you. So when you stop the inner struggle, your life ignites.
I love that. And I'm reading all the comments coming in about what you just shared, which is why I asked you to elaborate. So for those who are listening to what you just said, the competition isn't with the woman next to you. It's you having to dig deep and really understanding where you're at in life. But women are so we operate by emotion, and we judge ourselves constantly or compare ourselves to someone else. But the truth is There's no one else like you. You're the only, you're a one of a kind. And the more that women realize that, I feel once they let that guard down and they really understand their worth, their power, what all that is, you will never look at another woman as your competition. You won't look at her as being above you, below you. You'll look at her as standing right next to you, or it's just such a powerful thing what you just said. So thank you for sharing that and elaborating on what we've always said since day one. Collaboration.
And it's so true, because when we relinquish that and stop the inner struggle with ourselves, the competitions with ourselves, we realize that we were only creating our own pain. So we're self-inflicting that. And when you decide, it is the choice to be able to utilize and collaborate with other women, you realize that you have a greater gift to serve, and it is your birthright to share that. And you will just ignite, your vessel will take off, because you have so much to give to other people, and in turn they want to give that back to you for the support. And you'll realize that life is so much easier by collaborating with these other people and realizing that there's no other competition except within yourself. You got to decide.
I agree 100%. You hear that, everyone who's watching and listening, get the book. Thank you, Denise, for sharing. Let's pass that torch to Keitha.
Well, good morning. Okay, so why did nobody else bring their bling? I don't understand. Like, we were gonna celebrate this morning. I've had 2 cups of coffee, and been on here for an hour. So you look out. I got my bling. Anyway, first of all, I want to thank Hannah and the She Rise Studios for providing us an environment that is collaboration over competition. A lot of what Denise was just talking about. It is just amazing to be able to collaborate with women and to be side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and just learn so much from each other. This is a big deal. So this morning when I woke up and I saw this, I had the same response as the day I saw my podcast on Apple. I literally hit the button and it went on Apple, and I thought it was going to take some time, and it didn't. It went right away because I had done the early steps before and not realizing it would start right then. And I literally was in my office with my head between my knees crying. And my husband says, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "My podcast, it's live. People are going to listen to it." And he goes, "Well, isn't that what you want?" I'd been working on it for almost 6 months. And I'm like, I don't think so. So same thing with this book. We've been working on it for months. And now this morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, what if someone reads it? But at the same time, what do we do? It's so good. So anyway, like Hannah said, I'm Keitha Landauer. I'm the host of the War on Weight podcast, where I teach women and give them resources on how to win that war with the bathroom scale. I've been on a journey. I've lost 56 pounds. I've had to my chapter is called Dig Deep. I've had to really, you've heard a lot of women talk about digging deep into emotions. I had to dig real deep on how to figure out what led up to my binge eating, my overeating, my secret eating, my numbing my feelings, my people pleasing, all the things. And when Hannah asked us earlier who hand wrote their chapter, well, I kind of hand wrote my chapter in a very sloppy way, but I just went through and started writing all the life events that I felt like that had contributed to it. And then I just really kind of prayed over it and said, what is it that I need to write about? And I picked a couple of things that are kind of odd, but at the same time, it's a connection that I think that does help people realize that sometimes it's just the small things upon small things upon small things that lead to that. So anyway, I'm just glad to be here. And I brought more props, not just this. Are y'all ready? My dogs are probably going to start barking, so I'll mute quick.
Aw, congratulations.
So, happy launch day, ladies.
Congratulations, and thank you for being here with us this morning. I know for so many of you, it's one time in the world, and others, it's the sun's not even up. So just the dedication of every woman in this book showing up and showing out is so beautiful to see. I specifically, I will say this, having the privilege of reading your chapter, I identified with so much of yours specifically. I feel like I just put myself out there, but it's a real thing. And so thank you for sharing and for writing such a beautiful chapter.
I was with a group of ladies over the weekend, and someone shared a story that was very similar to mine, and I've not shared. Literally, even my own husband has not read the chapter. When you asked if we all shared it with our family, I couldn't do it because I was afraid. I just couldn't do it. So there it is. It's all out there. So now you're going to make me cry. But before I do that, I wanted to talk a little bit more about that collaboration. So today on my podcast, I'll be releasing the episode where I interviewed other authors. So there's a few of you that are on there, and I'm super excited about that. And then tomorrow, Hannah and I are on collaborating conversations on a LinkedIn live show together. So I'm super excited. I was invited to be a guest host of the show, and then I was able to bring on a few guests with me that I felt like that who I collaborated with to do. So I'm bringing on someone about who I feel like I've collaborated with on my podcast, and then I'm bringing Hannah for the book. So I'm super excited.
Well, thank you. And I'm excited to be on that with you. I'm looking forward to it. And it's another collaboration. This is what we've encouraged all of the authors to do within the network and also outside of the network, building relationships. So I think it's going to be quite an extraordinary event. And thank you for showing your celebratory bling and everything else. So let's pass it to Kelly.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. I have been loving this conversation, particularly around the sisterhood and collaboration concept. Because I think a lot of women, for me anyway, growing up, like it felt hard to like make close connections and girlfriends. I always said that I was the one that, the guys were like my friends, and I think a lot of that was self-imposed because of that comparison and feeling like you didn't measure up. And so I'm the oldest of 4 and I have 3 little brothers. So that might have helped or, had a factor in it because I was always playing football and being a tomboy and stuff like that. But I'm excited about this chapter. Mine is called Already Enough. And I'm going to cough. Sorry. But yeah, it's called Already Enough because again, I think growing up for me, feeling less than and kind of coming from a household where, my dad was a Vietnam vet. He drank. My mom had 4 of us by the time she was 24, 25. And so, I'm 55, so I'm a little older than some of the ladies here, but having having that background, just growing up, not feeling really safe, but not having language around it and trying to fit in and take care of people. Again, I'm the oldest. So there was a lot of that people pleasing, a lot of that, trying to find myself. And so my chapter really dives into a period in my life when I was like in my 30s, going through my second divorce. And really at that age, I mean, you'd think 30s. I have a daughter who's 35 and she's always been incredibly more confident than I ever was at her age when she was younger. But it was around then is when I really started to step into my power. And that's what I love so much about this book, Unleash Her, because there's so much power women have. And it is overcoming some of those stories we've told ourselves or other people have told us about ourselves. And so my company, my business is called the Be Brave Life. And it's basically, I do intimacy coaching and mentorship,
really empowering women to step into their power. But it's a journey. And that's why I like the word empower, because it is kind of a journey. It's not a one and done. And there was another author here earlier talking about, I think it was the principle. There is a sense sometimes that we're living this Groundhog Day, where is this all there is? Like, whether you're whatever stage of life, whether you've got your own 3 little kids. I'm a Mimi, also Hannah. I'm a grandma, but and I'm a woman of faith. And so my story does share a lot of where God helped me know who I was. And with that said, like, I was going through, I'm on marriage number 3. So I like to say 3rd time's a charm. And then God blessed me with a boy at 44. So I have a 35-year-old, a 24-year-old, and an 11-year-old. And so, it's been very interesting. And I know he's got a sense of humor, God does, because I'm like, oh yeah, have another kid. It'll be, a breeze. You've already had the other 2, but yet I'm learning so much from him. And I'm learning so much about how I can take my story and share with other women and really guide them through. In terms of intimacy, it's really knowing ourselves, becoming intimate with ourselves and managing our emotions. And so understanding all of that. So it's been exciting. I've always wanted to write a book, and this is actually the 2nd collaboration that I've been in, which is super cool. And again, just sisters coming together, women coming together to rise. When one of us rise, we all rise. Like, it's that whole, what's the metaphor about the boat? We lift each other up. And I think this book is going to be so powerful for other women to get, just to be encouraged and to know that they're not alone. Somebody else said that earlier, where we really feel like we're the only one going through this scenario or situation or whatever, but there's so much power that we need to tap into when we learn those things. So it's the how. Like, I love that most of us have businesses around that to help people along the journey, not just that you get motivated and excited and encouraged, but then, okay, how did you do this? Like, literally, please tell me what you do every day when the kids are screaming, when your grandbaby's right on your shoulder, and how do you manage that inside? And so it's really exciting. And I just love each and every one of these women. I know I've already had people asking about the physical copy, and I know that's coming in a couple of weeks. So meanwhile, we can get that Kindle version. I mean, launching today, it's such an exciting day. So thank you, Hannah, and all of you beautiful ladies.
I would say, when you're talking about the how, did you really know how, like, for me, I didn't realize until I actually wrote in this book, the chapter that I wrote, it was like, wow, I have no idea how I did that. But as I was sitting there writing it, it was like, oh, like it was just oh wow, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how I felt or how I saw myself or how I saw the world or how oblivious I was to other, like, it was just a whole whoa, like all the light bulbs were turning on. I feel like when you're writing something like this, it all of a sudden the how is like the wow. You have no idea, but looking back, it's like, faith, God, your sisterhood, what I call my she tribe, supportive family, even the ones who are unsupportive are a part of the how. It's such a major thing. So when you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I just said. How?
Yeah. Well, and you're right. While we're in the middle of it, we're just doing it because, things have to get done. And it is in hindsight that you can kind of look back and identify those hows. And that's why I think it's so powerful when women get into coaching and mentoring, because we've been there. Like,
we have learned a few things where we can kind of help them along so they're not, they're not going the long way around the mountain. We have a way to guide them and teach and encourage and train and, just share some of that wisdom and experience that we've been there while we understand where they're at, because we were there as well. So I think
well, thank you so much for giving more insight and just really being a part of our family and, joining this book and just really sharing your own personal how. And I'm excited I've read most of the chapters, but I'm ready to reread them. I'm always a Kindle version person and a paperback. So my paperback looks like a coloring book because I've highlighted or written a note. I always believe when you go and you read a book, you get something. Then you go back and you read the book, you get something else, and so on and so on. So like my books all look like the rainbow. And I believe this one will too, for me and just for anyone who grabs it. So I'm very excited for the readers to be, just touched by everything that was put into this. And with that said, I want to pass the torch to Miss Lovely, who I don't know how, but I could not see her in the back of our studio. And this beautiful woman has been waiting to light this torch, and she is here and gorgeous as ever. So Lovely, thank you. And thank you, Adriana, for helping me with the slide.
It's all good. I am here. I'm so excited. I mean, I've been here working since like 3 a.m. because of this. Because I'm like, I gotta be up. I cannot miss this. It's always so hard to get up to do this. I'm like, but today is a big deal. So I was here waiting. So and seeing you all, listening to all of you guys' stories has been so touching, so moving. And again, this book is just, to me, is gonna be a game changer. Someone is gonna find this book to be so helpful in so many lives, other women all across the world. So I truly am so honored to be a part of this. Again, it's just like every time I come here, it's like something new. It's like I pitch myself. So again, my name is Lovely Laguerre. I live here in Vegas, Las Vegas, Nevada, and my company is named Pure Heavenly Hair and Beauty, and sell real estate, also to do transition to change, women's lives from working 9 to 5 to create, different income streams. So truly, it's been honored. So my chapter name is finding your feminine power from within. What does that mean? It truly can be different for everyone. It's like, finding your, be confident, assertive, find your women power, and also to align yourself with your energy. So, and I said this, it is your birthright. It is very essential to have your birthright and know when you love and respect, you can stand it within your superpower. So I say women, do not have the stigma and break those shackles society has put on us to leverage ourselves and elevate and be each other's, backbones. Again, we speak that today very candidly about collaborating over a competition. I mean, our world has been so like, it's all about, me and me. But I said, if we come together, we can be limitless. And truly, and I find this book, us, sharing it throughout the globe, through all channels, is going to be life-changing for so many. So ladies, I said again, hats to you. Congrats, and thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for sharing. And, Lovely, how many books is this for you that you've written?
I know I think this is my 6th. I think maybe more, but I think this is my 6th because I'm doing Unleasher, the 6th series plus the Unleasher. Ladies just got me always writing something. So, but it just always seems so, just sharing my life stories and seeing what it can be impactful. And then every time I read one book, entrepreneurs, becoming unstoppable women, mompreneurs, that was a very big one. So every time I write a book, I feel like all this is like, giving other women out there that doesn't think they have a voice or may feel like they're stuck. You just let them know, hey, we're such a tribe that you can find it if you just, dig deep and, find your circle and know that, you're not alone, and we all going through, our emotions or fear, and then if we come together and, support each other, you can find, relief and, be purposeful, find your life journey and change the game yourself. and be your own, your own superpower woman. So that's what I find is vital to keep writing, because I find it to be now so, electrifying in writing my stories. So it's exciting. So thank you for allowing me to share my life stories in some ways and in forms. So thank you.
So Lovely, you are in the Boss series. So we met Lovely just under 2 years. I remember the first time that I actually got to meet you in person, and just the feeling that you inspired, like, I don't know, when I'm around you, I feel like such a warm, loving, creative, like you're such this creative, warm, loving woman. And every time you write in one of the books, it's a different version of you, which is why I always say all things lovely, because the growth that I've seen, and just knowing you, and I'm fortunate to live in the same city as you. So I've gotten to see like this transformation that continues to occur. And it's you're so much deeper than your businesses. Like, you're truly an incredible woman. And for those who do have the honor and privilege of knowing you, I really hope they know what that is. But you've written in, like you said, 6 books. You also have your own books outside of the She Rises that you have shared. And I would love it if you could put it in the comments so people can find it. But you also write in the Becoming an Unstoppable Woman magazine. You have this incredible, beautiful daughter who just like, she's writing books. So like, you're this lead by example. And now you have this beautiful baby who is stepping into her power and unleashing her power because her mama did. So it's like, I don't know if you really see it like from that perspective, because I'm looking at it from the outside in, but you've changed so many lives, in so many ways. And I just hope that you continue to do it and stand strong in your purpose, stand firm in your word, and just, because it is all things lovely. So thank you for being with us, and thank you for always coming with that smile. If you go in and look at all the book tours and everything, all you're going to see is Lovely smiling. And she's always smiling.
Making me smile right now. I can't stop smiling.
It lights up everywhere. And, it's incredible to see women, to go through this journey with you. So I just wanted to share that. And
thank you so much, Hannah.
And yes, you have, and also Lovely, you have amazing, lovely makeup. So definitely check it out. So with that said, we have Julianne, who is here with us today, and she's another incredible powerhouse, amazing woman. Welcome, Julianne. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being so patient.
Oh, good morning. No, it's amazing to listen to the stories. I mean, I'm just sitting here getting more and more inspired by all of my co-authors. It's just, I'm so proud to be alongside them. So my chapter is called Building a Lifetime of Resilience, Hope Through Hardship. I've had a life with some interesting stories, and some have been really, really big highs, and some have been really, really low lows. And what I talk about in my chapter is losing my husband to suicide 17 years ago, and picking myself and my children back up from that, and reinventing and rebuilding our life into one that we love. And, it was a very difficult time for us, and grief doesn't go away. And so I do share about grief. I wrote a book called Head Above Water, A Journey of Emerging Hope, that shares my entire story before this. And I thought this book was a great opportunity to take one aspect of the resilience that I've developed through my life, through health problems, life-threatening health problems, and then losing my husband, and really highlighting how you get through that, because I didn't have anybody to coach me or to help me through it. I felt very alone and very isolated. And so I thought it would be important to share my story, not only for that, but also because I am an advocate for mental health. And, it's interesting how many ladies have talked about that this morning. And, Julie Ramirez talked about something that I say a lot, which is mental health is physical. Just as you would have any other illness, like cancer or, diabetes or whatever it is you have. And if you need a medication, we don't talk, negatively about somebody who needs a medication for something to save their life, except when it comes to mental health. And we put a stigma on people who have a diagnosis of mental health, not recognizing that it's something that is a part of their body and not something that they would ever choose. And while we've done that as a society, what we have done is we have cost people their lives, because we tell them that what is wrong with them is not real. And also because of that, we don't devote research and all of that to finding treatment that will help. And it destroys people's lives. And so, my chapter, I hope, highlights a life that I've created through a lot of hardship, but is joyful. And I want to help people get from more pain to peace. And then also just highlighting that, mental health affects everyone. We all go through there are serious mental health issues and diagnoses, but there are also situational things that we deal with that, they're just as important. And so, for us to recognize that, acknowledge it, and validate, okay, and to know that we can come out on the other side and find a life that is joyful and, as Yana says, peaceful, but also brings us and those around us significance.
So I'm just reading, and I can't see who it is saying it, but it says, when we want to or seek support, sometimes it drives people away. And I would say that even if that is the case, if you're struggling, you need to take care of you first. And that's what this book is about. That's what you're talking about, Julianne, is, you have to choose yourself. And what you described, your situation, losing your husband in that way and having to pick up the pieces for you and your children, requires a bravery and a strength that I don't even know how you did it, or even if you knew you had that strength or bravery, but you did. And you said from pain to peace. When you're talking about something so traumatic happening, where do you feel right now in terms of peace? How do you feel now versus even a year ago? Do you see or feel the difference?
Oh yeah, it's daily growth, right? We never stop. And what I also tell people in my work around grief is that, unfortunately, grief doesn't have a timeline. It also doesn't go away. So, we kind of, flow in and out of different areas of that whole grief path and walk down different sidewalks, all the time. And so we learn and we grow every day. And I look back and honestly, I don't know how I did it. The day my husband died, I didn't have enough money to pay for his funeral. And, it was just a very difficult situation. I don't know how I emotionally did it. And I look back and I feel so, I'm not going to say sorry for my kids. I am sorry they had to endure what they had to endure, because I know that there were times where I was probably emotionally very unavailable while I was also trying to grieve. And I look back at those times So I don't know how I got through it emotionally. And then I don't even know how I got through it physically. You know, when I think of raising them on my own and traveling for work and, you know, being a Brownie Scout leader and on the baseball board and, you know, being an executive for the second largest company in the United States for what I do and making all of the meals in advance. And, you know, I don't know physically how I did it because now they're out of the house and I'm like, wow, you know, I'm still tired. So, you know, it was a journey, but I look back now and obviously every day I wish that my husband was here. I wish that my kids had their dad. But what I know now is that my life and their life is important in spite of what happened to us. And so, yeah, I think every day I grow and I know that carrying the grief of my husband matters because he's important. And that's why grief doesn't go away, because grief is love. And, you know, it's just been a really interesting 17 years for sure. I have learned more about myself and I like who I am today, probably better than I did 25 years ago.
Wow, what a beautiful story. So I'm going to ask, because we are going to be winding down for the ladies who stayed on the stream, if you want to unmute yourselves. And I am going to throw this out there. So our leader behind the scenes, who has also written a chapter in this book, and I always read her chapter last. One, because she's my daughter, and two, I read it behind the scenes in case it's going to be a tearjerker, because she never shares her chapter with me. It goes straight to manuscript. I never get to see the behind the scenes. So if she's watching, listening, or somewhere, and she wants to come on camera, or maybe just talk without showing herself on camera, because I know she's working, but just to come in and say hello and share a little tidbit of her chapter. And for those who are still on here, Megan, is there anything that you want to share or say today to women or anyone who's listening and watching?
Yeah. First of all, it's just been amazing to listen to everyone's stories. And it's so crazy how connected we are. And most of us don't even know each other. And I relate to literally everyone's story in some way. And it just shows me too how connected we are in the world. So I know that other women reading this book are going to connect to us as well. And so it's just such an honor to be a part of this and to help people, help women, and not just women, but I hope men too, unleash their own inner power and become the truest version, the highest version of themselves. Because I feel like that's why we're here. That's why we're alive, is to evolve our soul and become the best version of ourselves. And so sometimes, unfortunately, we have to go through pain to get that. And so I hope our stories help touch others and help them all know that they're not alone in this journey of life. So just so excited to be a part of this and so honored.
Well, thank you for sharing. Michelle, is there anything that you want to add before we close this out?
I just want to thank you again for having, being part of this wonderful project and everything. And like what Megan was saying, we are going to make such an impact on so many people that it's worth it, to be together and everything. So, I forgot to tell everybody what my chapter was. It's finally putting myself first, eliminating my crappy mess. So, I was so excited about telling you about everything else. I forgot to tell you my chapter. But no, it's such a privilege to be part of everything. And again, like what Megan was saying, we all, our stories may be in different forms, but they're all very similar about things that we've done, and things that we went through and learned from and grew from those experiences. That's the thing, is whatever we do, and it's not a mistake, we have to grow from it and we learn and help others. So thank you again for having us here, and it's a privilege. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And before I call on Denise, I want to share, I'm reading this, right? I asked Adriana to jump on here, and her response is, "Hi, ladies. I'm getting the stats on the books. Wanted to let everyone know we hit international bestseller in 3 countries and 17 categories." So I wish all of us were on here right now to just like express our gratitude to everyone who has purchased the book. Congratulations to the readers, because you are in for a real treat. I'm trying not to cry because I know what it took to write this book for each and every one of us. It's like what I described, really having to dig deep, get honest with ourselves before we could even share this chapter or our journey with anyone else. So 3 countries, international bestseller, 17 categories. I'm sure she will update us as to what countries and categories, but we are in the first hour and 42 minutes of book release. And our pre-sales, meaning that the book was not released, we made bestseller in 5 categories and in US. And so that tells me that this book, and again, you know, against the odds, because I don't know how many times I've heard, and I know Adriana's heard this. That's why I was hoping she would at least share her voice. We get told, why do you do this? Why do you write anthologies? Why not do a solo book? Why do you want to share your personal life with the world? And this is why. Because you find out how connected you are with someone else that you don't know. Anthologies are a collaborative unification of women, and most of us have never met each other in person. This book was built virtually. And if you can imagine, there's, you know, yes, we have this team at She Rises, but there's more of you than there are of us. So learning to work with the different personalities, the different stories, the different women, the different cultures that come behind creating an anthology is truly an art that me and my daughter did not know was even possible, you know? So like when I see that we hit these categories, to me, my heart gets excited for number 1, the readers, but number 2, all the co-authors, to be able to experience something so amazing. And anthologies are important. Women anthologies are important because it shows that collaborative form versus the competition. Because if anyone who listened today, there are so many women who are in similar occupations, careers, businesses, but you never once heard a competitive tone within this book. And that is truly beautiful in so many ways. And then when I get asked, and you know, why do you share such personal things? Because they have to be shared. We went through them so that we could help others and let them know that they are not alone. And it goes back to Angela, who I shared about, you know, how we met. Had she not shared her story to my cousin, and I believe this is truly not coincidental, had she not utilized her voice to help others who have that same disease, she wouldn't have, if her not sharing, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. So that is why we share our voice. That is why we write anthologies. That is why it is important. Every woman has a voice. Every woman has a story. Going into 2023, I hope more and more women will step up and become a part of these different anthologies, these different movements that are created, because they're created for you. It's not just the Adriana and Hannah show. It is for women across the world, no matter where you are. So I'm going to let Adriana talk, and I'm going to eyeballs for the 100th time. Do you want to share, Adriana, what's happening?
Yeah. So, hi, ladies. Sorry, I'm late to the game. Yeah, we hit international bestseller in 3 countries. So, USA being one of them, Canada, United Kingdom. We have 17 categories. I'm gonna keep checking throughout the day because obviously the book is out today and visible for everyone. So it's gonna just keep rising. But some of the ones are like hot new release in women's spiritual growth, philosophy and spiritual growth, ethics and morality. They're getting hot new release bestseller, and a bunch of different ones. So personal transformation, and yeah, it'll just keep going. But I just wanted to share again quickly, real quick, that my chapter title is called "It's Not Luck." A lot of times I got this growing up and even into my adulthood about people telling me, "Oh my gosh, you're so lucky you got blah blah blah," and whatever it was, this job or that opportunity or whatever it might be. And it took me a while to realize that it truly wasn't luck that people try to associate it with. It was hard work that I put into things and manifested by yes, the hard work itself, but like a drive that was more than just hopefulness. It didn't just happen. It didn't just fall in my lap. I set it up because it was what I wanted. And a lot of individuals do this as well. So a lot of you ladies don't realize this, but you got to where you are right now because you put in the hard work. And that's what I wanted to share. It wasn't this story of my life of being put down and whatnot. It was a story that I was able to understand from a different perspective of how we got to where we are as women and how to really, forecast that and try to instill in women that they have this ability to understand that they gave themselves the best gift, which is that love and compassion within themselves. And it goes into a little bit deeper than that, but overall it's just about how owning yourself overall. But I will pass it along. I don't have much more to share at the moment. But congratulations, ladies. You
Thank
did it.
you. We did it. So Denise, what do you want to add to this?
I gotta mute myself. There's so much to take away from this, and I'm just excited for everyone and congratulating everyone for all the love and the hard work that we all put together, right? Because it was a true collaboration in order to make this happen. But that also goes to everyone involved and the readers who are purchasing this, because the work that we did behind the scenes, coming together with 30 different authors on one subject and 30 different perspectives, is incredible to be up here on stage live, hearing everyone's story, realizing, wow, we are all same, but yet we're uniquely different. And that story that resonates with one person and said, oh, I went through that, or I experienced that, or I thought of that before, whatnot. If we're thinking that, it's no wonder why this made bestseller now. It all makes sense, because if you got 30 women coming together to write their own story in an anthology, how many other people in the world can relate? So this book is truly for everyone. There is no one that was left out or left behind. 30 different women sharing similar stories. It is, and when you read the book, everyone can take out what works for them or what resonates with them. It's not a one book that you have to like it from front to cover. One story might really sync with you and touch your heart. Another one might shed a perspective. The other one might say, I might want to think about that. So there's so much value in this book. It's not just a story. It's a lifestyle that you choose to push through your feelings, put back the past, live in the present moment, find the value, find the opportunity to be unleashed and live to your highest and greatest potential.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Nicole, do you want to add anything? We're going to close out between now and 7.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. This is, oh, my heart is so full and I wipe tears continuously. They just keep falling. But when you say yes to you and you become part of something that's bigger than yourself, and you put your heart and your soul and your love and your passion to wanting to help women all around the world with stepping in their power, unleashing their power, it's just an incredible experience to know that women are not just purchasing the book, but they're going to be able to have this book forever in their life as a handbook, a guidebook, a tool book. And I don't know. I'm so full of emotions. I'm so excited for all of you. I'm so blessed and honored to be in this project with all of you and have the opportunity to just have a platform given. So thank you, Hannah and Adriana, for giving us this platform, this book project where we can share our truth and our love and speak how we feel and what we're here to do. And it's just to serve and help women all over the world. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you for every single woman who was a part of this book, for trusting us with your journey. And thank you to every single woman who showed up today to light their own torch. Because like, as I said before, we're all spread out all over the world. We're not just in one spot. So for those who took the time today to join us and be a part of something so early in the morning and so late for others, and then finding out during the live broadcast that we hit international bestseller in 3 countries, 17 languages, is quite an incredible feeling to have. So we will close out. Grandma? Okay, thank you. We will close out with this. If you haven't gotten the book, get the book. Unleash Her is available on Amazon. It was carefully written by women, for women. And by you getting this book, you're going to change lives, because what you learn from the book, you're going to share. And it continues and continues and continues and continues. So get the book, become a part of our family. You know, come along with us and share your voice and be a part of this. You have an incredible She Tribe of hundreds and hundreds of women within the She Rises family, as well as globally. And that's what this is all about, is collaboration. So congratulations, ladies. We did it. And we're not even into full 2 hours of actual book release. And someone did say, yes, paperback version will be available. This book is running as a New York Times bestseller. So please make sure you grab this book, support your authors, and be a part of our journey. And thank you so much, ladies, for being here today. Bye, everyone.